Good morning, everyone. I just thought I would do the last 20, 30 lines here to help you out so you're not having to do masses of hours of work over this weekend. Consorgun Gemutu, this is actually where we finished off last time. The Rutalians rise up with a groan. Mutuli, Consorgun Gemutu. The Rutalians rise up with a groan, and the Totus Mons and the whole mountain, and the whole mountain re-echoes, remugit, re-echoes, Kirkum all around, and Late far and wide, the Alta Nemora, far and wide, the high up woods, the high forests, remittent, send back or return the echo, send back the sound. The wooded slopes send back the sound. Ile he, this is Turnus now, Humlis, I'm not doing any background or information, just translating for this. Ile he, a humble suppliant, protendens, stretching out his right hand in prayer, said, Equidem merui necta precor, said, what did he say? Indeed, I have earned it. Equidem merui, and I do not. So, indeed, I have earned it, and I ask for, and literally I do not complain, I ask for no mercy, he said. Utere sorte tua. So we've still got him being quite brave at this point. Use your fortune. If any any care of a poor parent is able to touch you, I beg, for fuit et tibitalis, for if any thought of a poor parent's grief can touch you, I beg you, for you, there was such a father for you, Anchises was such a father for you. Take pity on elderly Daunus, and rede me, and give me back, or if you prefer, su, or if you mawis, if you prefer, my body deprived of light, give me back to my mace, to my people. Vicisti, this is quite important, but you have conquered, you are the victor, and, so Vicisti, you have won, and you, and the Ausonians, so you have won, and the Ausonians see me, victum, have seen me, vanquished, stretching out my hands to you. So you have won, and the Ausonians, videre, have seen me, victum, defeated, stretching out my hands, parmas, to you. Lavinia is your wife, and I like this last line. I think this is a good quote for you all. Do not stretch out your hatred further. Do not press on your hatred further. Stetit acer in armis. Aeneas stood still, shifting his eyes. Aeneas stetit, stood still, fierce in his armour. He stood still, shifting his eyes, and he held back his hand. So stetit, look for the emphatic position. Aeneas stood still, fierce in his arms, shifting his eyes, and he held back his right hand. But now, right now, these words began to sway him. So at this very moment, this sermo, this speech, began to sway him more cunctantem, pausing, lingering. These words began to sway him more and more as he lingered. So, but at this very moment, the speech began to sway him, cunctantem, lingering more and more. When the Infelix, the wretched Baldric appeared to him, high up on his shoulder, umero alto, when the Infelix Valteos, notice the word order there, when the wretched Baldric appeared to him, high up on his shoulder, and the cingula and the belt flashed with its well-known studs, and the cingula and the belt flashed with its well-known studs of the young Pallas, whom Turnus of the young Pallas, whom Turnus had quem Turnus dravorat, had stretched out after he had defeated him, whom with his wound Turnus had stretched out, had laid out after he had defeated him, and he was wearing on his shoulders and he was gerebat, wearing on his shoulders on his umeris, where are we? Sorry, and he was wearing it on his shoulders, yeah. So that bit then was, I'll just say that again, sorry, because I was mumbling, and it flashed, and the belt flashed with its well-known studs, the belt of young Pallas. So of the young Pallas, whom Turnus had laid out, vanquished, whom Turnus had laid out, vanquished, and was wearing the insigne, and was wearing now on his shoulders. Good. Ile, he, so Aeneas, as soon as his eyes, so Aeneas, Ile, after he took in with his eyes the memorial, the memory of that savage grief, after he drained in with his eyes the exuvias, the trophy, the memorial of that savage grief, after he drained in with his eyes the monument and the memory and the trophy of that savage grief, of that cruel grief, Acanthus, ablaze with fury and terrible in his anger, said, "Are you to be taken away from me? Are you to be taken away from me, having put on the spolis, wearing the spoils of one of my maiorum, of one of my people?" Sorry, that was messages just getting sent to me. Pallas, so are you to be snatched away from me, having put on the spoils of one of my people? Pallas, who? It is Pallas, so are you to be snatched away from me, wearing the spoils of one of my people? Pallas, so it is Pallas, with this wound, Pallas takes, so Pallas, hoc vulnere, with this wound, Pallas sacrifices you, and Summit takes retribution from your scelerato, from your guilty blood. It's a good quote for guilt, for ideas of guilt. Hoc dicens, saying this in burning and rage, so saying this, speaking this, fervidus, saying this, burning with rage, he buries condit, his sword, under his chest. So dicens, saying this, fervidus, last word to describe Aeneas, burning in rage, he buries his sword under his enemy's breast. His limbs, his membri illi, his limbs grow slack, fulbuntur, and with the chill, and with a gemetu, with a moan, he flies, or he fled, angry, to the umbras, to the shades below. Well done, everyone. I will see you all on Monday.